The Discoverers is a history book on man's endeavors to discover and explore the world that he lives in. The author, Daniel J. Boorstin, goes over the desires of man to chart the unknown territory as well as the devices, religions, and circumstances that impacted man's adventures. Mr. Boorstin was a librarian of Congress, a director of many museums, and a senior historian of the Smithsonian Institution. He was a history professor at several esteemed colleges. He studied law, and the awards he received are too plentiful and extraordinary to even count. He loved America and dived into the study of history. His experience is credible, and he does the world a favor for explaining mankind's constant journey in his books. Now you might be thinking, isn't this a critical book review? Why are you putting the author in good light? While there are a few issues with this book, you have to give credit where credit is due. Daniel J. Boorstin did a really good job on this history book. And now we move on to the issues. Daniel J. Boorstin's book, The Discoverers, has issues in chronology, the motives behind historic discoverers, and the worldview of discovery. The first issue of Daniel J. Boorstin's book is missing the value of chronology. Mr. Boorstin doesn't start at a fixed point in time. He doesn't have a beginning point to man's discoveries. Another thing is that while each book/part inside the Discoverers is chronologically correct, the amount of dates in each chapter from a broad range of time periods can be overwhelming for the reader. In one chapter alone, the author goes from 1000 BC all the way to 1400 AD. I believe Boorstin's book would have been better if it had a timeline. A great example of this principle is used in A Patriot's History of the United States. This book has extensive timelines, even though this book is flooded with dates. All history books should have a timeline and a beginning point in history. The second issue of Daniel J. Boorstin's book is a misrepresentation of the motives behind historic discoverers. Boorstin is very eager to write about, quote, the prison of Christian dogma, Boorstin 100. Boorstin is correct in pointing out that discoveries and explorations were postponed due to Christian dogma between the years of 300 and 1300 AD. People throughout history have, of course, done bad things in the name of Christ, but Boorstin doesn't give credit to the impact that Christianity has had on the discipline of discovery. Christianity has had the largest impact on the field of discovery, and yet Boorstin never acknowledges this. He doesn't even point out that Christopher Columbus's motive for his epic journey was to glorify Christ. And that is just one example. Boorstin misses out on a list of heroic discoverers that did what they did because of their faith in Jesus and God the Creator. Boorstin misrepresents the motives. The final issue of Daniel J. Boorstin's book is a misunderstanding of the worldview of discovery. The author began his history book with a personal note to the reader. He begins his note with this, quote, my hero is man the discoverer. The world we view from the literate West had to be opened for us by countless Columbuses. Discoveries become episodes of biography, unpredictable as the new worlds that the discoverers have opened to us. While Boorstin lists discoveries and the impact of such explorations and devices, he never dives into why man has a desire/worldview to discover. Boorstin never reflects on man's desire to have a relationship with God through the methods of discovery. The reason that man wants to discover, quote, terra incognita, unknown territory, is because of man's calling from God to experience and explore the world. Boorstin misses the worldview. In conclusion, Daniel J. Boorstin's book, The Discoverers, has issues in chronology, the motives behind historic discoverers, and the worldview of discovery. While Boorstin's hero is man the discoverer, my hero is God the Creator. God has created us a vast universe and a home and wants us to continue to discover his creation. The act of discovery is something that brings man down on his knees, praising God. Thank you.
Very good.